children. Hope everybody is safe at home again. Welcome back to your online sessions. In the previous classes, we were learning about polynomials chapter. What we have learned in the previous class, we will recap once. We have learned about what is a polynomial, what is the degree of the polynomial, what are zeros of the polynomial, and how to recognize from the graph relation between zeros and coefficients, finding the quadratic and cubic polynomials. Let us recap one by one. What is a polynomial? Polynomial is an algebraic expression in which the powers of the variables are non-negative integers. Right? Suppose, for example, 2x cube minus 4x square plus 7x plus 2. So if you see this example, variable is x, powers of the variables are 3, 2, 1, and for this constant it can be written as x power 0, so power is 0. If you observe the powers of the variables, they all are non-negative integers. So we can call this algebraic expression as a polynomial. Right? Then coming into degree of the polynomial. Degree of the polynomial we define in two ways. If it is a monomial, monomial means only one term will be there, 4x cube y square z power 5. Right? Here we don't have any pluses and minus symbols. So we will consider the total as a single term, that is called as monomial. How will you calculate the degree for this monomial? Degree for monomial is defined as the sum of the powers of the variables, that is 3 plus 2 plus 5, that is nothing but 10. So for this monomial the degree is 10. For other than monomials, suppose if it is having 2 terms or 3 terms or more than that, then how will you calculate the degree? Highest power will be taken as degree. So here for this particular polynomial, 3 is the highest power. So degree of that polynomial is called as 3. So this is how we calculate the degree. Then coming into the next one, zeros of the polynomial. What were the zeros? Zeros of the polynomial are the values of the variable which makes the polynomial as 0. Suppose p of x is equal to x minus 3. What value I can take here? If I put x is equal to 3, p of 3 will become 3 minus 3, that is equal to 0. So when I substitute x value as 3 in a polynomial, the value is becoming 0. So we can call this x equal to 3 as 0 of that polynomial. Right? Zeros of the polynomials for different polynomials are different. Like if it is a linear polynomial, means if it is degree 1. If it is a linear polynomial, we have exactly 1 0 of the polynomial for it. If it is a quadratic polynomial, means degree 2. If degree 2 we have, then we will have at most 2 zeros for the quadratic polynomial. Then coming into 3 degree, third degree, right? The degrees 3 we call it as cubic polynomial. What will be the zeros for them? At most 3 zeros, like that. So we have learned for the different types of polynomials, number of zeros, right? Then coming into graph, how will you recognize the zeros from the graph? If I draw any polynomial in graph, right, how will it represent? First one was linear polynomial. If I take linear polynomial, the graph of the linear polynomial is a straight line cutting x-axis at one point. As it cuts at one point, we'll say 1 0 is there. What will be the 0 from that? X coordinate. Suppose this is 1 comma 0 point. This x coordinate is called as 0 of that polynomial. Right? X coordinate of the point of intersection of the polynomial graph with x-axis is called as 0 of the polynomial. So for linear polynomial, we get a straight line cutting x-axis at one point. So 1 0. If it is a quadratic polynomial, we will get a parabola, U-shaped curve. That U-shaped curve may cut x-axis in 2 points. That means it may have 2 zeros. May cut x-axis or touch x-axis at one point. That means it may have only 1 0, or may not have any contact with x-axis. In that case, we'll say no zeros. Right? So this linear polynomial will get a straight line. Quadratic polynomial, it will come as U-shaped curve. If it cuts at 2 points, there are 2 zeros. If it touches at 1 point, 1 0. If it is not having any contact with x-axis, then it has no zeros. Then cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial is an S-shaped curve. S-shaped curve, right? Like this. So, cubic polynomial, when you draw that S-shaped curve, may cut x-axis in 3 distinct points. So, we might have 3 different zeros, or may cut and touch. See, here it is cutting and it is touching. So, it means they might have 2 zeros, or it only cuts x-axis at 1 point. So, in this case, here only it is cutting in 1 point. So, that means it may have 1 zero also, right? So, at most 3 zeros, a cubic polynomial, right? Shapes of the graphs, remember, linear polynomial straight line, quadratic polynomial parabola, U-shaped curve, and cubic polynomial S-shaped curve, right? Then coming into relation between zeros and coefficients. Relation between zeros and coefficients. For linear polynomial, we have only one zero, so we'll take that zero as alpha. If p of x equal to ax plus b, alpha is 0 of that polynomial, then alpha can be written as minus b by a, right? This is the first relation for linear polynomial. Then quadratic polynomial, p of x equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equal to 0. If I take this is quadratic polynomial, for quadratic polynomial there will be two zeros, so I will take them as alpha comma beta. Then relations will be sum of zeros alpha plus beta is minus b by a, alpha into beta product of the zeros is equal to c by a, right? And third one is p of x equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a not equal to 0. This is a cubic polynomial. For a cubic polynomial, we will get alpha, beta, gamma as zeros, these zeros. So relations are, first one alpha plus beta plus gamma is minus b by a. Second, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha is c by a. Alpha into beta into gamma is minus d by a. So these are the relations that you have to remember very carefully. For quadratic polynomial, alpha plus beta minus b by a, alpha into beta c by a. For cubic polynomial, these are the relations for cubic polynomial. So these are the relations between zeros and coefficients of the polynomials. This we have learned already. Now next one was finding the quadratic polynomial and cubic polynomial. We had generated two formulas, how to find out quadratic polynomial and how to find out cubic polynomial also, right? So what was the formula for quadratic polynomial? P of x is equal to x square minus of alpha plus beta of x plus alpha into beta with a coefficient k, right? So this is the formula used to find out quadratic polynomial. And what is the formula for cubic polynomial? P of x is equal to k of x cube minus alpha plus beta plus gamma of x square plus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha of x minus alpha into beta into gamma. So this is the formula to find out cubic polynomial, right? So these all things we have learned in the previous classes. Now what we are going to learn in today's class? In today's class, we will learn about division of polynomials. How will you divide a polynomial with another polynomial, right? Right. First, there are some rules for division of polynomials. Okay, so we are learning today division of polynomials. First, there are some rules. So whenever you need to divide a number with another number, you will be getting dividend and divisor given to you, right? So in the same way, if I take two polynomials, p of x equal to 3x cube plus 4x square minus 5x plus 7. This one polynomial given to you, and another polynomial I'll take q of x is equal to, or g of x is equal to x plus 2. Right? Divide p of x with the g of x, he says. So how to divide these two polynomials? So first, before beginning the polynomial division, you have to remember the rules of the division. First rule is you have to check is the powers of variable are in the descending order or not for the dividend. Right? For p of x, are all the powers in the descending order or not? See, 3, 2, 1 and here it will be 0. The powers of the variables must be arranged in the descending order of their powers. Then, if any term is missing, right, here already they are in the descending order, right? Now, suppose if any term is missing, right? Suppose here this term is not given to you. Then, here you can see power 3 is there, power 2 is there, power 1 is missing, power 0 is there. So, whenever any term is missing, you are supposed to take 0 in place of that, right? So, we'll talk about that later. Here I gave minus 5x, right? Then, if you begin the division, where to stop division, right? We will see that. Let us go for the division and its process. If I divide, first I'll take the divisor on the left side. Dividend, that is 3x cube plus 4x square minus 5x plus 7. Right? Now, how will we divide it? Okay, there is a simple process that you have to follow for every step. What is that? Take the first term here and first term of the divisor. First term of the dividend, first term of the divisor. Divide them. That is 3x cube by x. Right? X cube is there. Here we have one x. So if I remove this, how many x's will be there? 2. That is 3x square is there. So that remainder we will write here. That is 3x square. Okay. This 3x square we will write in the quotient part and multiply with your divisor. That is x into 3x square. X into 3x square. That is 3x cube. 2 into 3x square. 2 into 3x square plus 2 3s are 6x square. Okay. As we know, whenever you do division, we have to go for subtraction in each step. So, for subtraction of algebraic expressions, I have to change the symbols. Now, you will observe 3x cube minus 3x cube. Always this first term gets cancelled. Now, 4x square minus 6x square. 4 minus 6 minus 2x square. The other terms you bring as it is down. Minus 5x plus 7 are as it is. Now again, when we are going to the second step, same procedure should be done. First term is minus 2x square. Again here first term is x. Divide both of them. Minus 2x square by x. So out of 2, 1 is gone. So I will get minus 2x. That minus 2x I will write here. And again same, multiply this minus 2x with your divisor. Minus 2x into x. Minus 2x square. Minus 2x into 2. Minus 4x. Again change of symbols. 2x square minus 2x square. I said already. First term gets cancelled always. Now minus 5x plus 4x. This is minus 1x plus 7. Again first term by first term. Right? How many times should we do like this first term by first term? Until you get this remainder degree. Here the degree is 1, right? The remainder degree should be less than the divisor degree. Here the degree is 1. There also degree 1. So I can go for one more step. Right? If suppose you are having degree 2 here and I got degree 1 here, then you cannot do that first term by first term process. Right? So here we have another opportunity. So this is minus 1x by x. X cancel. This is minus 1. So write minus 1 here and multiply that minus 1 with your divisor. Minus 1 into x minus 1x minus 1 into 2, that is minus 2. So here, if I change the symbols, this 2 gets cancelled. 7 plus 2, that is 9. Now, degree of 9 is x power 0, 0. Right? Degree of 9 is 0. Here, degree is less than your divisor's degree. There the degree is 0, here degree is 1. It is lesser. So, when you get lesser degree than divisor, it shows that you have to stop the division there only. You cannot proceed further. So, here I will say this 9 is called remainder. Okay. So, from this whole problem, our divisor is x plus 2, quotient is 3x square minus 2x minus 1, and remainder is 9. So like this you have to perform the division of the polynomials. Okay. Before that, again I am repeating, whenever you see the degrees should be arranged in the proper order, descending order. Right. Second thing is, if any term is missing, you have to put 0 in place of that. Then when to stop the division? If the degree of the remainder is becoming lesser than the degree of your divisor, that shows that division should be stopped there. Okay. So this is division of polynomials with an example. Right. We have few problems in the textbook. We will complete them. Then we will come back to the next session with more.